Okay, so welcome back. So this is the third module of week 4. So we will start looking at, as I said at the end of the previous module, we'll start looking at the storage, collection and transport and of the waste. So far, if you remember from the class, in the very first week we kind of gave you an overview. I gave you an overview of like a typical integrated waste management system. We talked about the different components of the waste management. Then in the second week we talked about what are the waste properties, how we get the quantities as well as the quality of the waste. We talked about the statistics involved with the data during the third week, and we also looked at the rules, regulations, the Swachh Bharat mission, MSW management rules, how the smart city initiative, how the waste management is important from a smart city initiative as well. So after having all that as a background, now once the waste is produced, it has to be collected. As per the MSW management rules, it requires to be a source segregation. So if in an ideal, once we implement this rule at the ULB level, we'll have two ways of like two bins or two plastic bags or whatever ULB chooses to have, one for the wet waste, one for the dry waste. And then this household hazardous waste either can be collected once in a quarterly, like 3 months, or we can have a designated place somewhere in the city or the town where people can go and drop off this household hazardous waste, because that the quantity is very small. So in terms of the collection, in terms of the storage, what are the different things needed for a smart city, in terms of what are the different components that will be needed, and how it is being done globally. What are the global practices, what we can learn from a global practice? That will be kind of focus of this particular module. So let's start looking at one by one. So when we say storage, the solid waste actually is stored in a variety of containers. So if you look at globally, people use variety of containers to store solid waste, and that depends on the type of container, is a function of the type of waste is stored. If it's as you go in a construction site, you will see big dumpsters that are being used. So type of waste, so the type of waste is stored is important. Then the time limit, whether we are collecting the waste every day. If you are doing day-to-day collection, actually, if you are doing everyday collection, that's a luxury in many Western world. We don't have everyday collection of garbage. Typically, it will be once a week, or maybe once like twice in a week, but not more than that. It's usually it's most of the places. Like I have lived in Auckland, New Zealand, and also in US, couple of places, and few places like three places in US, and in Toronto area. Everywhere I had once a week collection. So but that there, since the temperature usually doesn't go as high as in Indian context, we can live with once a week collection. Otherwise, in the Indian context, what will happen, especially for the food waste, wet waste, if we have a once a week collection, most of the food waste will get degraded in our house itself, and it will create a lot of foul smell. So in that context, we may have to go for more than once a week collection. But again, having a daily collection is actually a luxury in the like many developed countries is not able to afford to do daily collection. So that's so you should actually feel good about it, that somebody comes to your house every day and collect the garbage from there. So for the wet waste, maybe daily collection might be done. For the dry waste, it can wait. Dry waste can wait because now we have to have two separate trucks to collect these two garbage. So it's so the time limit of storage. So if you do a weekly collection, you need a bigger storage. If you do a daily collection, you need a smaller storage. So those things are there. The amount and density of the garbage. If the garbage is too fluffy, you need a bigger container. If it cannot be compressed down, you need a bigger container. Then how will you collect and transport? That is also important. Frequency of collection, we talked about that. And there should be some local rules and ordinance are also there in terms of how it needs to be stored. So and also in this particular set of in this particular module, I will show you lots of pictures. The pictures from typically from around the world, actually, you will see the garbage pictures, and that will give you a lot of examples of how the waste is stored and collected at different places. So it's at a small generator. People typically, it's at a household level. You can use a trash can like you see in the picture. There could be a simple trash can. that can be used, or it can be bags, it could be cart, it could be bins. So there are different things that could be used. In the next module, I will show you a small video where you will see how the waste is collected from the carts, like an automated waste collection that is being done in some place. And that's where we need to take our ULBs too. Our ULBs also has to go to that level in maybe in a decade or 15 years or 20 years from now, but we need to start working towards it. So storage of waste at a small generator, so different things can be used for that. There could be different types of garbage bin. Here you can see the garbage can and the recycle bin, and here as you can see here, so there are different pictures. All the pictures are a bit, I'll try to explain them one by one. So in this case over here on the left hand side on the top, this is your non-recyclable waste, which needs to go to either to a waste to energy plant or to a landfill. This is the recyclables, which is in a recyclable container. So they will be collected separately. So they will get collected separately, and then they will go in a separate trucks. Here what you see is these two is again the refuse, the green bags, and here you see this pink or the purple pink pink bags. So both of these are actually the picture is from Auckland, New Zealand, and why this different color bag? It's because of the fact that these are two different vendors. So this is being done by private parties. So the private, and it's in the downtown area of Auckland and Auckland, New Zealand. So the truck will come in and they will spot their bags. So their bags are all green in color. So for this metro waste, their truck will come and only pick those green bags, and this company's truck will come and pick the pink bags. So it's already prepaid, as you can see. It says prepaid refuse bag. So you have already paid for this. So you have paid for these bags when you purchase it, and typically they are actually almost like $1 or $1.50 for one bag. So it's not waste disposal, and this is actually their waste disposal fee, and which we'll talk about that in the class as well. So there are different ways they are done, and then these recyclables, the cardboards and other things, they don't charge any money for those recyclables. The recyclables are collected free because the municipality will make money out of that. So that's why their collection is done for them. There is no charge for it. Other examples, you could have wheeled carts, and here again different types of wheel carts. There could be private parties or public. So here you see a set of pictures where all these different wheel carts, and if you can look carefully, these ones have some stickers on top of them which tells them different types of recyclables going in there. So one could be for paper, one could be for plastic, one could be for glass, one could be for cardboard. So there are different types of the material will go into different types of these containers, and that's how they are source segregated. So once the truck will come, the different types of truck will come and take one of these amount from these trucks. These are non-recyclables. These are just refuse, garbage, non-recyclable ones. Non-recyclable. These are the wet. As you can see, mostly food waste. Picture is there, like the green waste, and it's in the green cart. It's collected. It goes to an anaerobic digester plant or a compost plant, as the case may be. Here these are again green cart, mostly for the green waste. This blue cart is for the recyclables, and in the blue cart it says very clearly, see, as you can see, this picture actually coming from the lid of this over here, and as you can see, it very clearly says what can go in here. There is a listed what are the items. Only these items go into this bin, not all the items goes into this bin. So that's this kind of information. Although after having a lot of community engagement and like a newspaper advertisements and everything, is still they have put a nice sticker on top of cover, so that when I'm putting them out, when I'm getting this lid off and putting the garbage in, I can look at, okay, this material, should it go in here or should not it go in here, because that helps in terms of proper source segregation. So we need to do those kind of education happening in the ULBs in the Indian context as well. So there are so these are the different some of the other. I'll show you some other examples here as well. So this is another one where you can have let's say here the recycle. These two are the recycle bins, and where even the recyclables are separate, have been put into 2 different containers. And what are these containers? One container is for fibers. As you can see, all this fibrous material, like a paper, office paper, newspaper, cardboard. Most of the Western world, actually, nobody comes to your house to buy this old paper. There is no kabadi wala coming to your house to buy the paper. So actually, that's to put things in context. Say when I went abroad for my master's and PhD study, and later on I lived there for quite some time. And there, first I used to work in Delhi before that. So in Delhi, if I sell, the Times of India used to be really thick. And Hindu as well used to be really thick. I don't know these days how they are, how thick they are, but it's so if I sell 3 months of Times of India or Hindu newspaper, I can pay the bill for 1 month. So it used to be that much of newspaper, like price of the paper from this kabadiwalas we used to get. But when I went to US and then I got this newspaper, there was no rack pick, there is no kabadiwalas to come and pick it. I have to just throw it in the recycle bin. So first few days I had a very hard time throwing it without getting any money, because in India we are used to getting money for everything. So even if we have a very old cell phone, we will just stick to it. We'll just wish that we get some money out of that, because that's kind of, I would say, our mindset. And there have been, unfortunately, that mindset has been taken advantage of by some companies in the past, where they have even said that you give me garbage, I'll give you money, and then I'll make profit as well. So, and then these days those companies have been bankrupted. There is nowhere near in the garbage business. So, and they created a lot of nuisance in the Indian waste management industry. So, but so here in terms of coming back to this particular picture, so here what you see is 2 different containers, one for fibers, 2 different recycle bins, one for fiber, one for container. The fiber one is the orange bin and the container one is the blue bin. So all the containers goes here, all the fibers goes here. Then 2 different trucks will come and they will get collected, and then they will be taken to a material recycling facility for further processing. So they will, and then you can also have like a glass. Glass is collected separately. In many places you will have the glass. This picture again is coming from New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, where you see that glass is being reclaimed separately. And I will show you, like for some of the smart cities in India, you will see similar pictures in next module or the module after that, of what is the present situation in India and what are the initiatives taken up from the Indian context. First I'm trying to show you what is happening in a global context, then we'll look at the Indian context, and then we will discuss how we need to go from the present Indian context to the global level. That's how it will make our cities as like a smart cities too. Auckland, for your information, Auckland is one of the first city in the world which went towards a smart city program. So we have this glass reclaim here. Glass glass is being collected separately, and some places here what you see over on, if you look at this glass picture, which you over here, many places even they have gone for different colored glass. Here all these 3 like a different color. Usually the glass is green, clear glass, and the amber colored. These are the 3 typical glass color we see. So, but many places even they have gone for separation of the glass as per color. Like how these things are done, like why these things are done, because if you separate them by color, you are actually making the material more, see, and you see I'm using the word material now. They are no more the waste, they are materials, because they are recycled material, and that material is cleaner. And when I say cleaner, because it's all the white glass, so that facility doesn't have to separate. But we have to put separate bins, we need to get collected separately, so there is a cost associated with that. So we need to do a financial analysis, of economic analysis, to see whether we should have this glasses sorts segregated by different color, or we should take all the glass to one location and do the segregation by ourselves over there, and which one works better from a techno-economic feasibility standpoint. Yard trash, which is like the trash from your gardens, lawn, that can be taken up in a bag, and this is a compostable bag. So this whole bag can go into a compost plant. Sometimes they're left on the side of the road, and then it gets picked up as well. So that's typical yard trash. So Again, the previous you saw this picture earlier. So this is the recycle. This is a example from Florida, outside my residence over Florida. These are my the garbage produced from my household. So here you see these are the recyclables that is over there. Then what you see on the green colored is it's a prepaid bag, and on next to the green color what you see is your this trash can. So every house, they get a standard size of a trash can, and you can choose the size of the trash can. Say if you have a big family, if you have a 10-member family, 8-member family, 6-member family, you will produce more garbage. So you can go for a bigger trash can. If you have a smaller family, you can go for a smaller trash can. And the waste is collected once in a week over there. So for this green, this black one has non-recyclable, and so things like a food waste and other waste all mixed together. So whatever waste is produced in the week gets filled up into this container. Once if the container gets filled up, then if we have the leftover waste left, then we go and buy this prepaid bag from a local grocery store, and then we put this waste in here. And since we have already, we are paying for this as per our monthly fee. There is a monthly waste disposal fee, so we are paying for this for that. For this part, we have already bought the bag. So we have bought the bag, so we have paid for it while buying for the bag. So this is how we pay for this collection of this part. Recyclable, since the city will make money out of that, city will sort out these different components, and will sell it and make money. So they don't charge any money for you from your house to collect it. So city collects it for free, but then they make money and they don't share any money with us, and that's but that's how city improves its waste management system. So it's kind of a tax that you are paying for, so for the waste disposal. And this is again a trash day in Auckland, as you can see over here. Auckland has a hilly area, so the streets are not flat. Many, as you can see from the back side as well, there is a lot of it's kind of similar Manali kind of terrain, so that's why you see this kind of stuff over there. So here again, these are prepaid bags with the refuse, with the garbage, which will go to the landfill. This is the recyclable, which goes with the containers, and these are some extra recyclables which has been put on the side, and they will be collected as well. So we are not paying anything for this and this. We are paying for this by when we buy these bags. When you buy these bags, you pay for that. So based on more waste you produce, more bags you need to buy, and that means more waste disposal fee you are paying. So you are not paying directly. There is no cart here for trash. It is only bags, prepaid bags, so that you are paying directly in terms of purchasing of those prepaid bags. And we'll talk about some of these how this monetary things work with that as well. This is another picture here. Again, this you have this recyclable stuff over here. This is the regular refuse, and these are the cardboard. And this is from a commercial area, so you see all those lot of cardboard boxes and other things which is ready to be picked up. This is from South Korea. Here as you see some problems like we see in India. Here again they do buy prepaid bags. As you can see, these are the prepaid bags over here. That's a prepaid bag, and then this is for the yard waste over here. That's another kind of prepaid bag. Here where the food waste needs to be decomposed, it needs to be thrown, but people have thrown it, people have not thrown it directly in here. There are some things at the bottom which should not happen. Kind of we see in Indian context quite a bit. And then the most alarming thing over here is having this bag. This should not be there at all, because that's the red bag, that is the biomedical waste, that should not be mixed with municipal solid waste. So, but for some reason it has been thrown over here, which should not happen. In India also it happens more or less, and many times these are small children and people working as the rack pickers. They get needles in their hand. They get poked by needles and other things, the blades, because of people throwing away biomedical waste, especially from these small clinics in a residential area. Those small clinics, they have many times they just throw their garbage along with municipal solid waste. For this big, one thing I would like to state here, that biomedical waste is a separate, is managed separately. It's not part of the municipal solid waste as such. It's a separate rule. There is a biomedical waste management rule. Biomedical waste, as per the rule in India and in most places in the world, biomedical waste needs to be incinerated. It needs to be burned. So all the big hospitals in India are supposed to have a biomedical waste incinerator, or they should have an arrangement with a waste incinerator where they can send their waste. But that's what the rule requires them to do. But there are a lot of small clinics and small like a hospital, nursing homes, which may not be following these rules, and that's why these things are coming up into the municipal solid waste stream. And our friends in terms of the rack pickers who help, they actually does a lot of work in terms of waste management in the country, and many times they get poked with all this and they get sick because of getting exposed to all these needles, contaminated needles. Those things make them sick. So that's this is again a scenario in Korea, not as good as what you saw in New Zealand or in US, but they are getting there. And so in there are some other initiatives there as well. If for the furniture, if you have a big furniture, you have to buy a sticker and you have to put a sticker on the furniture, and then only the furniture will be picked up. The furniture will be picked up and taken away, as you can see it's over here. And then this is for the food waste, and this is a little bit better than the previous picture. And this is the food waste, and also some other yard waste and other things, which needs to go to a anaerobic digester or a compost or those kind of facilities. In Korea, and when we say Korea, we are talking about South Korea. In general, when we say Korea, we are referring to South Korea. When we say North Korea, we say specifically North Korea. So in Korea, food waste is banned from landfills. You cannot throw food waste in the landfill. Very similar to MSW Management Rules 2016. So they have done it much earlier than us. And then this is for electronic waste. This is for I would say more in terms of the electrical fittings from the home. CFLs, tube lights, and other things you can go in this container. So when you so that's in terms of different like at a household level or at a secondary collection point. And in terms of at the large generators, if you have a large generator, you can have cart, you can have dumpsters, you can have hauled containers, and I'll show you pictures and explain each one of them, and it will make you clear. So this is the dumpster for a mixed waste. This is typically you will see in a shopping mall area, on the back of the shopping mall, back of a big like a big bazaar or a V-Mart or those kind of places. You will see on the back where they will have like a typical similar stuff in say US and Canada and other places. You will see that they will have these big trash cans where the waste will be decomposed there. And here this is the mixed waste. The waste will be separated at the recycling facility. So they are just collecting all the waste together, and it will be taken to the recycling facility where it will be separated. So, and then there could be even sort separated. So here, as you can see, this one is for the dry cardboard, dry flattened cardboard. So it's a dumpsters for recycled cardboard. So these kind of things you can also see in many of these facilities. Medical waste container. This is you will see in many of the, like if it's a commercial place where they have some clinics, and so there is a medical waste container will be there, and this medical waste container, as you can see over here, comes with a lock and key, so that it's secured. So because it's a infectious waste, so we don't want this to be gone into the wrong hands. And this BFI is the company which manages that. So this is for people who have contracted with BFI. So they will come from time to time. Once it gets filled, kind of goes closer to filling up, they will be given a call. These days, many times what they have done is they have a sensor. So they are now smart bins. They have sensors in there, so where once it goes to say 80% or 90% towards that level, this sensor sends a message to the BFI person in charge for that particular area, saying that this particular bin, based on the bin ID, they know where they are located. This bin is almost full. It's time to replace it or time to empty it, and they will come and do that. So those things are also used. So waste management actually is becoming very high tech. And there is one video If you're interested on waste management, I don't think we can play, because that's almost like an hour and 20 minutes video. I can put a link in a discussion board sometime, but I cannot play that video as part of this course, but online. But you can always go and watch that. It's some places it's available for free. Even if it's not available for free, it's only $1. So $1 is like 60-70 bucks, around 70 rupees. So not, but it's called Secret Life of Garbage, and it was made a couple of years back, but it's a very good one. It's a really nice one. It goes kind of all around the world and gives a good overview of waste management, and we watch that. Typically we see that video during the first week of our lecture here at IIT Kharagpur when I'm doing an on-ground class. So we watch it because it's really informative about how the waste management is changing and the challenges associated with at the global level. This and then containers for recyclables. You go around the world and you see lots of different types of containers. They just make it look a little bit fancy, make it attractive, so that people will come and try to use this for different recyclables. This is again another recyclable container. This is from Chile, Santiago, which is the capital of Chile in South America. So that picture comes from there. And then waste bin for recycled cardboard. This is one of the waste disposal site, where people can come and drop off. Usually in a semi-urban area or a rural area, they will have these kind of facilities. So this is a barbed wire fenced. So you just put all the cardboards here. From time to time, the truck will come and pick it up and take it for processing and selling it off. Open top roll-up box. So this is another, typically you will see it in a construction site. So here all the construction waste is being dumped over here. So what will happen after it is dumped, the front part of the truck will come and it will put the hook on this side. It will put the hook in this particular area and take this container and then take it with it. So that's how it is taken away. So this is that's why it is called open to roll-off box. It will be rolled off from that particular site and they will put a new box over there. So this, once it gets filled up, they get a call and they will come and take it and put a new, they will come up with a new empty one and take this filled one with them. So that's how, because it's too heavy to kind of empty it at site. So that's why they do it on that. Then they have an open top roll-up boxes where you can put, and here only recyclables, as you can see on this picture, and here it says only recyclables. You just put the recyclables here. Only recyclables needs to go, and this is mostly cardboard, gypsum drywall, which has been put over here. So that's again to recycle this construction waste. Open top, another example of open top roll-up box where you can collect something and dump it. So that's another example. Many places now, especially even in some of the apartment complexes on campus here, and we see that in Singapore a lot, where they have this trash chute and roll-up box. So there is a trash chute so for every floor there will be an opening, and the people will put the trash there, and it will be collected at the bottom over here. So that's there is a roll-off during the construction time. There is a roll-off container here, and but after the construction is done, the same chute can be used for garbage collection from the houses, and then we can put a big trash can here, big dumpster here, and that dumpster can be emptied by the big truck coming in and collecting the garbage from time to time. So that's also used at a lot of places. Lined roll-up boxes. Some places they will use lined roll-up box, especially if you are collecting something which is wet. If you have something which has some moisture in it, you don't want that moisture to be leaking along the road while you are driving it from this construction site or the waste generation site to the disposal or treatment site. There will be water falling down or the moisture falling off. So to prevent that, you do this lined roll-up box. So you put a liner in there. Closed top compactor box. This is another example. Typically you will see in a shopping mall, in a big shopping complex. What it is essentially this has a compactor in there. So it is a garbage collector portion here, but it at the same time it has a compactor, so it compacts the garbage in there. So it's the garbage is compacted, so it will it needs to be emptied not that frequently. So but it will be a compacted garbage, then this whole thing will be taken off, and they will open it, they will take the compacted garbage out, put it in their truck, and then the new garbage can be added to that. So those kind of things are used. So again, as you can see, there is a lot of variety depending on where you are. Closed top partition box, here you can this is a for the recyclables. As you can see, you can have a number 1, 2, 3 plastics, aluminum, steel and tin cans, glass bottles and jars, but there are for plastics this one can be used, for aluminum, steel this one can be used, and for glass bottles and jar this can be used. So there are different containers, it's labeled on the other side, so that's where you can use this different partition. So there are 3 different partitions here. So let's we'll kind of stop at this particular point, and then we'll start from our collection equipment in the next module. So as you can see, there are different types of waste storage can be done. That depends on whether it's a residential area, whether it's even in the residential part, whether we are talking about individual houses, where we are talking about the apartment complexes, if it's a commercial area, construction site, institutional site. So it's all depending on the requirement. Depending on the requirement, there are different types of container systems are available which can serve the purpose of having a sort separated garbage as required as per MSW management rules. Things are happening pretty much in many parts of the world, so same thing can be taken from, but we need to put it in an Indian context, make sure it works in Indian context. And as part doing that sort separated collection, it's a lot of education is needed. So a lot of education, lot of outreach is needed to make people follow the rules, and that will be the one of the most critical component in terms of making it a success. So we were talked about the storage. Then in the next module we'll start talking about how now it is stored in a place. Now how we will collect it. So we looked at these are the different trash cans can be used to store it. Now once they stored, once the trash can is full, whatever be the type of trash can, it has to be collected. So in the next module we'll focus on the collection part, and subsequently on the other aspect of it. So thank you again. We will keep an eye on for your questions on the discussion forum, and we look forward to interacting with you over there. And again, if you have any issues, feel free to share with us. And thank you, and see you again in the next video.